Hey everybody, Madora here, and I've got a fun lesson for you. This is all about Psycho Killer, Talking Heads, Tina Weymouth. If you want to learn more about her, she is what I consider a bass player to know. You can read about her in my book, Bass Players to Know, Learning from the Greats. And you can also learn about her playing here, because we're going to talk about a cool bass line. Probably one of the more popular bass intros, particularly in a pop rock song. But the second you hear this, you're like, oh, we're getting ready for a good time. Because we just are. It's Tina Weymouth. It's Psycho Killer. So let's talk about this bass line. Just so you know, if you want more info, you can head over to my website, ryanmadora.com, get tab and notation on my TRUEFIRE channel or my Patreon page. But we're going to just talk about the bass line in this lesson right here. So as per most lessons in this channel, I like to have some kind of theory integration. You know, we're learning how to play a bass part, but we want to learn why we're doing what we do. You know, that's kind of that connection between taking the musical knowledge that we get from books and lessons and classes and things like that, and applying it to songs and knowing like, oh, well, the reason why things are played is because of this. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take some of the theory concepts and apply it to this bass line by Tina Weymouth. So the first thing I'm going to mention is the overarching lesson here is this concept of relative major and relative minor. This might be something you're familiar with, maybe it's not, but the core principle is that there are keys, major keys and minor keys, and for every major key, we have a complementary or a relative minor key, meaning that the two keys, the major key and the minor key, share the same notes. Here's an example. The key of C, if we played a C major scale, we have no sharps and no flats, meaning we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No sharps, no flats, all regular notes. And there happens to be a relative key or a key that has the same notes, no sharps and no flats. It turns out that the relative key, which we would call the relative minor, is A minor. If we played an A minor scale, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Again, no sharps and no flats. These are relative keys. A minor is the relative minor of C, and C major is the relative major of A minor. That's kind of how this relationship works. A great way to think about it is if you find yourself in a major key and you say, all right, we're in C major, the relative minor is actually always built off the sixth scale degree. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get to A. Ta-da! We've already determined that A is our relative minor. It works. Coincidentally, if you're at your minor tonic, so if you're at A minor and you're like, oh, well, I'm at A minor, like what would the relative major be? Go to the flat third or the third scale degree of the A minor scale. We have our minor third. We go A, B, C. C is where our major scale would start if we were in the relative major key. So a great way to think about it is C major and A minor have the same notes. Therefore, they are relative keys. And to find the relative major or minor, if you're playing a major scale, the relative minor, it comes from the 6th scale degree. So if C major, the relative minor would be A minor. And if you're at minor, if you're A minor, the relative major would be built off the minor third, the C. So that's a great way to kind of think about this. Now, the reason why this relates to Psycho Killer is because we're using exactly this. And we're also in the key of C or A minor. You know, the bass line starts off just like, first off, great quarter note practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got a little thing at the end. We jump down to the G. But it's a quintessential cool bass intro that happens to just be super great quarter notes played on the A. To kind of get that little last part of the bass line, what I'm doing is I'm essentially very gracefully kind of playing it as a grace note, playing my open E, and then hammering on to the G. You know, the open E doesn't really ring out too much, but it is kind of a cool like hammer-on effect. So if I'm playing the A, I'm playing the open E, and I'm also like hammering on and then attacking the note when I play the G. So it's going to be like that. You'll also notice that there's space in between these notes. You'll see that my finger lifts just so slightly off of the fretboard. You know, I keep it on the string to keep the note muted. But you can see that just a little bit of lift will help you mute the note, and it creates that space so you get very nicely defined quarter notes instead of playing it like this. That's fine. Doesn't have the same effect though. We want that punchiness, we want that space. And so one of the great ways you can do that is by kind of just lifting your finger up just enough to take the string off the fretboard, but keep your finger on the string to keep it muted. So that's the intro. We play it over and over and over again, and we play that during the verse as well. So already we kind of feel like we're in the world of A minor, right? However, it's good to know that our relative major is the key of C, because when we go to the chorus, we kind of go back and forth between where we land. You know, we actually play a pattern off of an F. I like to think about this as outlining an F chord, which is the 4th scale degree of C, or the 6th scale degree of A minor. But I'm playing essentially an F chord, and I'm playing what I call kind of like the quintessential soul pattern, which usually involves a root note or an octave, a 5th and a 6th, which is exactly what we have here. We have like F, D, and C, or the root note of the chord, the 6th and the 5th. We take that same pattern up a whole step to G. So you can see that I play exactly the same thing. Root, 6-5, root, 6-5, root, 6-5, root, 6-5. And I resolve for the first time on the A. And I kind of toggle between A and G. So that first part of the chorus, I'm going F with my pattern, G with my pattern, A. Then I do the same thing, F, G, but then I resolve on C. And that's super cool because all of a sudden we play the pattern of the F and the G and we resolve to the A, the minor tonic, and then we play the same thing but we resolve to the major tonic, the C. And we kind of get an extra clue about it being in the key of C major because we're playing C, we have a little B action just a half step below, which is the 7th scale degree of C. And all the notes are in the key of C major or A minor. So it's really cool because the chorus is almost like two phrases, and the first time it resolves to the minor tonic, the A minor, and then the second time it resolves to the major tonic, the C major. And that's why it's awesome. So the whole chorus resolve to the A first, F, pattern, G pattern, C, our major tonic. And then you repeat that whole thing again. So one of the cool reasons why this song is just like great is because it really helps us see in the wild the relative major and minor concept at its best. Now there's also a bridge to this song. That's another lesson for another day. In the meantime, get these patterns under your fingers. Try to wrap your head around the fact that C major and A minor are relative keys. They share the same notes, no sharps or flats, and that sometimes in songs we can take both of the tonics, the C and the A, and resolve to them at different points in time. That's kind of the cool thing about it. We get a sense of resolution at either the C or the A minor, depending upon where we are in the song. And so Psycho Killer is a great example of that. So I hope you found this lesson useful. I hope that it shed some light on some theory stuff for you. And if you have any desire for more cool bassy stuff, head over to my website, ryanmadora.com. Check out my Patreon page and my TRUEFIRE channel for tab and notation, things like that. And also pick up my book, Bass Players to Know, Learning from the Greats, and you can learn more about Tina Weymouth and many other awesome bass players. So I hope you dug this. Happy practicing, everybody. Keep it groovy.